Oh my god, what an evening. England are through to the semi-final, and we bloody did it on penalties.
Here we go.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and another roundup video here in Euro 2024, and I can't believe I'm saying this after the group stages and everything that's happened in between, but England have made the semi-final of Euro 2024, and we did it by winning a penalty shootout with what was, I think, undoubtedly the most impressive penalty shootout I've ever seen from an England team. Now, of course, a lot of talk going into this game. As we know, England have not been great. Things needed to change. We got lucky against Slovakia, and individuals arguably, or definitely, bailed Gareth Southgate out in that game. But the changes we've been crying out for, which feels like we've been crying out for them since the group stages, finally came as we changed system in order to, I think, match Switzerland, which I'm glad Gareth Southgate did that. And I said this last week, I said this on the Borough Breakdown podcast, if England didn't change their system, I honestly was sure we were going out of this tournament. But we made changes, and don't get me wrong, we were still nowhere near our blistering best, but we were better, and that's the main thing. The system seemed to offer us more balance. We were up the pitch, we were higher, our fullbacks were much higher, Harry Kane was higher, the whole team was pushed further up the pitch, and that just gave us a larger degree of control over the game, especially in the first half. I thought we were very good first half. Not, again, incredible, but it was a very good improvement on what we'd seen previously. And at the end of the day, in knockout tournaments, you don't want to peak at the start, you want to peak at the end. So although we've rode our luck, although we've not been great throughout, England are improving, finally, and you want to peak at the end. So this was a welcome step forward against the best team we've come up against so far. And it's not to be underestimated how good of a team Switzerland are. They've looked so impressive throughout this tournament, and I was genuinely believing that if we didn't rock up, they would be the team who would knock us out. But first half, I thought we did well. I thought we were better. Still, though, without creating all that much. But it was an improvement. Unfortunately, that didn't continue in the second half, because second half Switzerland come out and were much better. The control we had on the game had gone, and for the most part, Switzerland with the team in possession, Switzerland with the team creating. But again, England's defence seemed relatively solid throughout until the 75th minute, when Switzerland did break through. And although I wouldn't say they were knocking the door down, it kind of was coming at the time, and it was Mbolo who put them ahead on the 75th minute. And there was not a degree of luck to this goal, but I feel like we were a little bit unlucky. You know, the initial cross, I think, went through the legs of Konsa. It then caught the studs of John Stones. Had he not edged that cross a little bit further towards goal, it might have been behind Mbolo. It might have gave Walker a better chance of getting on the end of that cross, but it just pulled it away from Walker and not close enough to Pickford for Mbolo to tap away at the back post. And genuinely, I thought we were out of the tournament. I thought we were absolutely done at that point. It looked like, although we'd been better, the first goal in this game was massive, and to see it go to Switzerland that late on, I thought we played all of our cards last week against Slovakia. We've not got 9 lives. We've ran out of luck. We've played our get out of jail free card. But in credit to England, our reaction was outstanding. Now, one criticism I will throw at Southgate in the build-up to the goal was that he was more reactive than proactive. You know, it was clear in that second half that Switzerland were on top, and I think we were kind of crying out for changes from the hour mark onwards, and he made 3 instantly after they scored. So at the time, I was a little bit frustrated that we'd chosen to wait until they'd scored to take you know, any form of change, and it made us seem reactive other than proactive, like we weren't going to win the game, we were waiting for something to happen. But luckily for us, and again, luckily for Gareth Southgate, I would say, one thing England have, I think, over every other team in this tournament, and I said this in the game against Slovakia, following that Bellingham goal, we have individual quality that's unmatched throughout the entire tournament. We've got players who can pull out moments of absolute magic when we desperately need them to. Bellingham did it last week, Bukayo Saka did it again here, cutting in from the right, a fantastic strike with his left foot right into the corner, and it was great for us to react and get back on level terms as quickly as we did. And the final 10 minutes I thought we were brilliant. You know, it was a bit end to end, a little bit open as you'd expect. Switzerland did have a few openings, but I thought our reaction after that was brilliant. It gave the team the lift they needed, the substitutes did, gave the team that injection of energy. The fans were right behind us, and I felt like that was the period for us to get the game won in that final 10 minutes. But unfortunately we didn't, and we went into extra time, and extra time was just neither here or there, really. You know, as you'd expect, both sides very tired, arguably, you know, as much as they'd want to win it, they'd be desperate not to lose it, and it always felt like we were going to go to penalties. And it doesn't matter what sort of team England have, penalties will strike fear up the god of all England fans, as we well know, especially after what happened in the final of Euro 2020. And I genuinely thought this was going to be it. But what I will say, and this again goes back to the individual quality, also the changes Gareth Southgate made, I thought were very good changes. I think with penalties in mind, Cole Palmer, Ivan Toney and Trent Alexander-Arnold were three fantastic substitutions, and unlike in the Euro 2020 final, he didn't leave it too late to introduce them players into the game to get up to speed. He brought them on with good time, and I think that would have definitely made a difference. But what I've got to say is, say what you will about tactics, performances, that penalty shootout was absolutely outstanding, and I've never seen an England team deliver a penalty shootout that calmly, that convincingly, with such composure and quality. That is not an England team that we know from penalties. We've had some outstanding England teams that seem to melt at the sign of a penalty shootout, but this England team were incredible. You know, all 5 penalties were utterly brilliant. An outstanding penalty shootout, a fantastic save from Pickford. I think it was important he saved the first penalty because that really set the tone. It instantly put Switzerland on the back foot. It gave us a boost of confidence. A poor penalty from Akanji. And even though Switzerland, I thought, took most of their penalties pretty well after that, every single penalty taker from us was utterly fantastic. You know, Cole Palmer's brilliant, just like he does at Chelsea. Bellingham's was as cool as you get. I mean, would you expect anything different? Saka was one. Oh, I was so delighted for Saka. He was without doubt our player of the match. He's been without doubt our player of the tournament, I would say, consistently. And after what happened in the Euro 2020 final and the horrible racism that he got after that, to see him come back and put his penalty away as well as he did, I loved that, and I was just buzzing for him. You know, he deserved that moment, I feel. And all of his great work up until that point would have been completely ignored by some had he missed. So I was so happy that Saka scored, regardless of the result. But even then, Ivan Toney, as he does, I mean, how cool he was to take the penalty without even looking at the ball. I don't know how he does it. And then Trent, at the end, again, another sub who'd come on, perfectly executed, and England are through to the semi-finals. And yeah, I'm not, again, going to pretend that we're playing great, but I don't think anybody is. I think Spain are the closest who've played great from start to finish, but even they needed a late winner to get past Germany. You look at the other side of the draw, you know, France and Belgium both looked absolutely terrible in their game, and then you go to Portugal, who again didn't look very, very good in their quarter-final or their last 16 game, and then when they played France, it was really poor, really poor quality from both teams. So yeah, Netherlands up next. They're another side that I feel like, similar to us, are improving, maybe slightly improving, although again they've not been great. So Spain still seem like the standout team, but I wouldn't say there's anyone that's blowing the opposition away. So it just takes this England team to go through a few gears And although we've not gone through a few gears, I feel like we've shifted up a bit. And again, I don't want us to peak at this point. I want us to peak in the final and to see this step forward. Albeit again, not easy, not ideal. The resilience of the team is such a great character trait to have. And we've got belief that we can come from behind, no matter how late in the day it is. And regardless of how the tactics and the system and how it hasn't worked at times and how boring we've been, there's no doubt we have the quality to go all the way, and there's no doubt we have the resilience and the character to go all the way. So, fingers crossed, the moment against Slovakia with Bellingham, this penalty shootout, all these little moments will be just giving the side more confidence, and we are just building and building to that crescendo, which will hopefully be the final of Euro 2024. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on this performance. Far from vintage, but a good sign with an outstanding penalty shootout. Do you think we'll go all the way, or do you think we will fall at the hands of the Dutch? Let me know in the comment section below. Like this video if you want to see more England and football related content to come. Subscribe for much more, and leave me a comment below. And as I say, link to my TikTok where I post lots of fun, quirky reaction-like content is in the description of this video. But until next time, do take care guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.